You know what I wanted to say before we get started? Today I'm working on the body of work. You're gonna see me in here just working through. I have such a good idea. I'm gonna show you these. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting to get to the bottom of these, but I've had to work on other projects. Look at how gorgeous these are gonna be. But guess what I'm gonna do? I wanna show you how I'm gonna put a hinge down here, because look, if you hung these from your ears, they would be really stiff, right? Beautiful, but stiff. That's why I was showing you the cross today. I just love this shape. And even, you know, if you're Christian or not Christian, this, back in time, the crosses were pagan. They're everything, you know? So it's like, they're universal, the crosses. They're such a strong symbolism. It's such a beautiful shape. It's like, this is north, south, east, and west. I see them as a compass. I see them as crosses. I see them as, you know, these were compasses back in time. You could use these, you know, directionally and all of this. And it really points to the north, south, east, and west. So I like that theory too. There's so many important things to this symbolism, you know, and when I was in art school, I went to the Art Institute of Chicago. When I was in art school, we had to be so specific with our shapes that we used. If we used a cross, most people would think like it was a religious piece, you know, which it really does look like one. But if you think about it in so many different ways, you know, it really is pagan, and it was back in time, and it's so hard not to use this beautiful shape. There's so much going on. I love building rings like this, directional. So if I want the length in here, which my thing now, I told you in my line, is that I am building wait till you see the gorgeous gems. I'll throw those in there. I've got pinks and some blues in here. And so I might do another pink towards the bottom. So I'm gonna put a little hinge in here so it doesn't have to be stiff, you know, and hit a certain way. Just a little hinge so it could hinge off on your shoulders a little bit. Where did I get the idea for the hinge? I'm gonna show you. So for the hinge, in Making Connections, I was talking about that in here. I'm not selling this book now. This book I wrote, it was a self-published book, and I wrote this, oh my gosh, in 2007. This one came out in 2007. And it really, oh my gosh, I sold 20,000 copies of this. So there might be some that people are getting rid of if you're interested. I just use all, you know, this, I was telling you that I just walked around in the world, and all over the world, when I traveled everywhere, and I just loved looking at architecture. So this is architecture brought in to a small scale on jewelry. And I'm just gonna be working a lot of that on my body of work too. Let me find the chapter. Oh, here's the chapter with hinging. Okay. I have all kinds of hinging in here. This is the hinge, you know, and this is some of my early work. This was Beach Walk, a talisman. This is another one here built of, you know, this is built, I love this one. This one is actually built of steel, and then it's stretched with silk. With silk organza with print on it. Oh my God, I love that. You know, just different hinges for mixed media. This is mixed media all over. This is a bar hinge here. Same thing when we get into jewelry. You know, we're using the same kind of hinges. Drawing a bead hinge. This is a jewelry holder that I did way back in the day, but it's pretty cool. Oh, this we did when we were out in Paris. This is a talisman. We actually took these little quail eggs that we had, and we ate them for supper. Our chef, I had a workshop out in Paris, and our chef cracked the eggs and scrambled them. She told us you can't eat that much because quail eggs are super rich. So she cracked the eggs. We had a whole bunch of quail eggs. You can get these also in the Asian areas, like in Cleveland. I'm here in Cleveland. I can find, if you want to try quail egg, you can try it. You can buy them in like in maybe the Korean stores, maybe I think the Korean stores, you can find them. I'd have to be for sure on that. We then put, you know, we just sealed them up, and this opens so you can use it as a talisman. You can put notes inside, messages. That's what I'm all about, is really putting our messages inside of our wearable work. You know, nomads did this. What are you wishing for? What are you trying to manifest in your life, you know? So that's what I love doing. So these are all hinging, and I'm going to show you a hinge based on architecture in here. There's a good hinge. So that's my next move that I want to do. So I thought I was going to do something else today, but that's what I'm doing, making connections. You might be able to find this on Amazon, people selling it. I am out of medium solder, pretty low, and I've got a job to do. So these are my little palettes that I'm making here. There we go. Gorgeous. I told you my bench was still a mess, guys. And let me get this straightened out. Here's how I do mine. These are my palettes that I love so much. If I can't get into a spot, I just hit it with a little bit of a rubber mallet to get it flat. Let me hit these a little. Voila. I'm pretty good at cutting this, huh? You learn in time. Then you have to not cut yourself. So let's see, I'm gonna start here. This one's a little bit lower. You won't cut yourself, you really won't. It looks like it though, right? With your finger right there. The pieces are getting a little bit big. I think that's enough for now. Lost a few. Voila, I've got more than enough for my project. Good, okay. Gonna be a real strong one. Dang, I need a little bit of liquid. Now. Yep, that end is put together beautifully. This end is put together beautifully. I'm gonna dunk them in. Oop. Good one, Susan. That happens sometimes. I'm not gonna step at all. There we go. Because it's not closed. Here it is. Great. Fantastic. Get out my hard. Let's see what I have. Hard, easy, medium. That's my hard, easy. This is my medium. I don't have any medium here for now, but that's okay. I don't really need it. Okay, I had a big, long day. I mean, not a big, long day, but I had trouble getting to, had a lot of running around to do, but we had a 3-day weekend. So now I'm getting in here and I find it's like 4:30. I have it really low, maybe way too low. Can't get, there we go. A little low, turned up a tiny bit more. Grab a tiny piece, we just need a tiny one of the hard. Get onto here. I know you guys can't see it very close up, but you see it a little bit. When you get inside unfolding, things are, I have to be a lot more careful. This is just a super casual one. I'm just soldered my bezels together that I want on my piece. After I do this, I have a couple more things, and then I can set all my stones and get this piece ready to wear tomorrow. That's what I'm excited about. I'm gonna wear this because I'm doing a live. Well, the live is already gonna be done by the time you guys see this one, but nonetheless, I do lives on Wednesdays. So if you wanna show up and for a live, there I'll be. Okay, this one is done. I always put, I know it looks like it's a mess, but when I already set a gem, I put it in here. So this one's done, although I do need to scratch this on this surface. Make sure my back is nice and flat. This is a fine silver. So remember, it could come apart so easily. I'm gonna get that gem back again. I mean, it could change the shape of it so easy, and it actually is beautifully perfect. So good, good, good. So now, nice and flat. I have a good piece like this. Let me check this bezel, get this bezel set in here. So what I just kind of do is pull the areas out that I need. Make sure, oh, I see this one's gonna be good, but it needs to readjust. I usually work on my table, but I don't wanna move this one right now. I usually work on something sturdier than my soldering board. This one's a little bit tight, but it sure is a beautiful, that's why I have to make sure everything is done right, because this one is exactly tight. There's enough room for it as long as I don't bend it in any way. This one's a little tougher to get in. This one was tougher for me to make. You know how when you have one that's just giving you a hard time? My corners need to be a little bit more rounded. I'm gonna push it in from the bottom. I don't want to start all over again, that's for sure. There we go. Perfect. Okay, it's gonna sit in there beautiful. Sometimes it takes a little bit more work than others. The top needs to be pushed down a tiny bit. This is where you have to get everything perfect. That's all, everything perfect. Okay, this one goes in the pile, and I am going to, usually I bring my piece down to the sandpaper, but I'll just show you guys what I'm doing. Getting a nice flat bottom here. Voila. I think I'm gonna set something right at the top. Okay, get my spritz. This is why I made more medium solder. Let me get this heated up. Then the medium solder goes on. I use mostly medium solder. In fact, if I had to, I would just use all medium solder. I'm gonna wanna get this up on my screen though. I have done projects, you know, challenged myself, and it's been really fun of just using all medium solder, and you know, you just have to watch, just have to be careful with what you're doing when you do all the medium solder. Okay, there we go. Get my pick. I start getting too much over here. Here it is. You just really need a marker and a couple other things. Way too much. Now remember, you guys, I would just, for these little things, you guys get to see these things all the time, but I overfill my solder because I'm going to use it to attach. You don't need all your sides done either. I'm going to use it to attach the wire, the decorative wire. So I know sometimes people are like, well, you use way too much solder. So funny, you get on these things and everybody is like, really has to do the comments, but that's okay. That is okay. Everybody does things their own way. Okay. Let me get this done. You guys, if you guys do want to know more about soldering, there's another one on here that is the art of soldering bezels. You're welcome to watch that one. I also have a tool list on there. I go from under. I know there's a lot of different ways people like to do this. I go from under. There we go. Got it all flowing. See how beautiful that flows? This one is flowing too, but we have to get everything down and in the right place. I'm going to have to hit this just a tiny bit. There we go. Here's a tricky part thing. There we go. See that? All right. I'm going to get these onto the piece and I'll show you it in a little bit. It's fun. Top heavy. It's a little top heavy. Let me get this dipped. Voila. I'm going to put this on. Once the little fine sticks on the bottom are part of the piece, makes it easier for all of it to come together. Let's see, okay, get that a little harder. This one's in, but not too hard. A little harder, but not too hard. There we go. I think I've got it. Now, is there anything that I want to put on the bottom part here? Let me think about that. Okay. Okay, a little dirty. You guys can see I work with my stuff a little bit dirtier. I don't mean to, I don't pickle mine all the time because I find I don't really need to. So I'll show you soon what this is all about. Okay, you guys, I'm just getting you a little closer. This is working on the final project. You guys are over my shoulder now. It's been a while since I've been back, but I want to get this project completed because you guys, I started this with you guys, and then I had gems come in. I had all this different stuff coming in. So here, I'm working on this piece here. They're a pair of earrings, remember? I'm just going to do one. I can't wait to see these. So think about it. If you wore these earrings and they were straight like this, you guys have seen me wear them on my live. This is gonna keep getting in the way, but yet I want this length. Oh my gosh, you're gonna see so much, so many earrings coming out of me that are so long and big and beautiful, and I'm setting my beautiful gems in here. And if you guys wanna learn how to set gems, there's two of them. There's one of them that's building chakra jewelry, setting a rose cut gem, and another one just is the how to make silver jewelry. And those are both the beginning ones that have the tools with them. So you can get back to there to learn how to set these gems. So this one, I'm just gonna show from my book on how when I studied jewelry around the world and talisman around the world, I actually found, this is one of the hinges that I studied. And this one's called drawing a bead for attachment. So I'm gonna, see I put a little mark on there. I've gotta take off the length, but it's still gonna be, oh my gosh, just as beautiful and long. And remember when I cut this way, it's double flush. So I can get a nice little tabletop. See that nice tabletop here? But you still could hit it with a file. I have this piece left. I'm not gonna use it, but I can use it later on down the road. So I'm just gonna take it, hit a little bit with a, you don't want anybody wearing your things to be tortured. I also built this piece. So see, you can see the back of my piece, how I soldered this down. You can see the back of this piece. This is one of the things that I love doing now, is making all these little components. I actually have a workshop called Totems and Talisman, where we're using personal sacred objects and gems. But you can see how I put this together. And I have the top on here, and I'm gonna show you how I make a nice little hinge to make this longer, let them fit together, so it's deciding the length that you wanna do here. So, I've gotta turn on my torch yet too. Okay, so this, I'm gonna take this end, let me put on my binoculars. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna take them and very, very gently put in a nice little curve. And you know what, you guys, if you guys like a lot of this work, I just kind of show an idea on the outside, but inside, I have a lot of projects that are pretty amazing inside of my subscription. So if you guys like this, pop in. There's hundreds. No, I've been doing this 2.5 years, so there's quite a few. I don't know about hundreds. I'll have to check on that, of different projects to do in silver, plus the training on how to do this in silver. So if you guys aren't in my subscription, it's actually only $25 a month, and you get so much training in there, it's crazy. Okay, so this is a cold join. Remember, my book is cold join. So I've got just a little bitty loop, I've got 2 loops here, so you could see how this fits together right here. One of them is heavier, one of them is lighter. See? See? Okay. Now what is next, right? And then I'm gonna get a nice hinge. This is gonna be so exciting. Okay, let me get my torch lit. I haven't lit it yet today. And I've got my solder grooming. First time I lit this today. Now I need this hot because I'm drawing a bead. And I want a nice big fat one. This is not fine silver. This is sterling silver. And I'm using sterling silver because sterling silver is way stronger than fine silver. You know, you could get a beautiful ball on the end. I'm gonna do a whole thing like on granulation, but you could get a beautiful ball on the end if you use fine silver, but fine silver does not hold up well enough. Isn't that interesting? That's why sterling silver came about, because you know, fine silver is the way you get your silver in coins. It's the way all silver is valued, but it doesn't hold up as well as jewelry. So that's why jewelers really started using sterling silver over fine silver. When you guys see this piece done, I think you're gonna be amazed. So I'm gonna leave, oh my gosh, probably this is an 18 gauge. And see, I'm leaving about a good inch on here with an 18 gauge. Every single gauge is different with how much length that you wanna leave. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a place for drawing a bead that is away from my two pieces. So I'm joining these two pieces together. So I'm gonna find a place. I think I can hold it here with my hands. Isn't that crazy? It's like usually you guys, when I'm on my own, I really try to work with efficiency. So I'm gonna turn this up higher than normal because it's not a normal technique. I'm gonna be away from all my other silver. Voila, 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 voila. Quench it. If I had my gems in there, I'd have to quench it quickly. And now this is gonna be a nice completion because this will have this movement here. I can still decide if I want to put anything decorative here. I could cut it off or add down here, which I might. But I'll show you wearing these as earrings. Now I'll be able to wear these as earrings and they're not going to, you know, and when they hit my shoulder, they'll have movement. Isn't that a great idea? I always like doing this with the scotch, with this, because this actually will give me a super beautiful shine once I polish this up. So this is after liver sulfur, but I love these scratch brushes. They give a beautiful shine. That's a wrap. Got them finished. Love long earrings. Here's my nice hinge so they can sit on my shoulders really nicely. If you're looking for some gorgeous, gorgeous gems, I just got some in, so pop over to my store and I have a lot of gems like this and more. Okay, you guys, here is some champagne quartz. Ooh, it's so gorgeous and large and beautiful. And these are $4 a carat. These are fluorites that are huge. They're actually, the color is so gorgeous, they're fluorite, but I have to tell you, these I ordered, they're heat set. These are the only ones that are heat set, but they're so gorgeous. These are $4 a carat. Huge sizes like this. So, you know, to me, it's like, oh my gosh, beautiful. Then I have the tinier sizes that are the fancy cuts that you'll see also. Same, beautiful. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, I decided to get this Morganite. This Morganite is so beautiful. I have them in small and mediums. Such a beautiful color. These will be beautiful in silver. Those are $4 a carat, the cost. And I'm gonna mix all these together. This is a milky aquamarine. And this is beautiful. I love this color too when you need something a little bit smokier. And then I have the super, super clear. I am so impressed with the quality of these aquamarine. They're so clear, and you can put like a silver foil behind them to really make them pop. These are $4 a carat, and you guys can get these on my website. Just pop right over. They're gonna be here for sale. This, oh, I just love this stone, all sizes. I always, always need these tourmaline. The thing I love about tourmaline is that they're so light, so you get a good value for your money, and there's such a variety of color. It's crazy. So I just love that. Here is a tanzanite. I usually get amethyst, and I love amethyst, but I decided to get a little bit of tanzanite because the color is like a lilac color, faceted, so beautiful. $4 a carat. And oh, here is, oh my gosh, this is some of the most beautiful hezonite. It's a deep, deep red that's cut so beautifully. These are hezonite, and they're so, so clear. I'm very impressed with the batch that I got this time. And then I have a tiny little bit of peridot, which peridot is one of the, is a really beautiful stone, really beautiful spring green. So these are all really good colors for summer and for, for spring, for summer. So if you're looking for some beautiful gems, I'm gonna curate these into a beautiful batch of how I'm planning to design this summer. And you guys can check it out on my website, see if you like it. Next time, I'm gonna show some beautiful, beautiful foraging.